AITA for blowing up at my pregnant wife and putting my foot down after her blow-up. We are renting a 2-bedroom house from an older man. We'll call him G for this. I don't know how to really describe G, but older retired military is the closest. This man has been nothing but kind to us, far more than either one of our parents have been. We live in California, and the average rent in our area is around $2,600 for a 2-bedroom. At first, we were a bit skeptical because the house was advertised, but G wanted to meet the tenants personally before anything else. The listing stated $2,500, but was also stated negotiable. We met with G, and I don't know if he liked us or felt sorry because we told him our story, but he offered us the place for $1,600. Any problems we have ever had throughout the 6 years me and my wife have lived in the house was fixed within 48 hours. G is the landlord everyone wishes they had. He isn't money hungry, and if rent is a bit late, he understands as long as you keep him informed. We haven't had an issue with him in 6 years. I have asked him why he is renting the house out to us so cheap, and his story broke my heart. He bought the house for his daughter a couple of years before we moved in, but unfortunately she and her fiancé died in a car crash, and he couldn't find the heart to sell it, but also doesn't just want it to stay empty. During COVID, when my wife lost her job and I had to take a pay cut, I called him and told him about the situation. I asked if it was possible for us to perhaps pay a couple $100 less in rent, and then I will pay everything back once COVID stopped. He came over and talked to me and my wife. After 2 hours of talking, he said that he would forgive half our rent until the whole COVID thing is done, and then we can just go back to the original contract. I can't describe how happy I was. I thanked him with tears in my eyes. With the $700 saved on rent, we were able to keep our head above water during that crisis. Above it, the kind of man G is. My wife is currently 5 months pregnant. G had some health scares, so we haven't seen him for the last 6 months. He came over the day before yesterday to tell us he is healthy again and will again take up the care responsible, so if anything is needed to give him a call. He saw my wife and obviously the belly and asked how far along she was. We told him, and he just had this smile from ear to ear and say congratulations. Before he walked off, he said kids are expensive, so as a baby gift from me, let's make the rent an even $1,000 until the baby is born. I have an idea why, but for some reason this set my wife off completely. She started yelling at G, calling him an old man that is looking down on us, and that he can take his useless gift and shove it up his ass. She was yelling for like 3 minutes, and every time I tried to stop her, she would just get louder and louder. I don't know what got into my wife, but at the end of her rant, she said, if you really want to gift us something for our baby, you should not let us pay rent at all, you stupid fucking old man. That is what you call a gift. G took everything she said and didn't say a word back. His face just went from happy to completely emotionless. After my wife was done, he just left. I blew up on my wife and asked her what the fuck she was thinking, as G never did anything wrong to us. She just started to cry and refused to talk to me the rest of the night. Every time I brought it up, she would start crying, but I caught on to the crocodile tears and told her to just stop because I want an explanation. Yesterday morning before I left for work, I told her she better be ready, because ready or not, when I got home, we will talk about what happened and I will not accept her fake tears. I got a text from G telling me we have to talk. He asked to meet at the house at 5, and I agreed. We met up at the house, and he asked to come in. We sat in the living room, and he asked if my wife could join us, and she did. He didn't ask why. What happened? Nothing. All he did was lay out what will be happening going forward. He said the gift will no longer be happening, and he will expect the full rent at the end of the month, no excuses. He said the rent will stay $1,600 until our lease is up for renewal, which is ending in this year, and when the lease is over, we are more than welcome to renew. Then he will be charging us market rate for the house. That is more than a $1,000 increase. I tried to talk to him, but he refused to listen and then just walked out of the house. My wife was white as a ghost in the coach and stammered, what are we going to do? Because she knows an $1,000 increase in the rent will lead us back to living on paycheck to paycheck. My paycheck is enough to cover literally every single bill until my promotion in 14 months. I blew up and told her this shit is her doing. She asked me to run after G and talk, or to call him and try and talk to him. But G is refusing. The only message I got back was, please contact me if it has something to do with the house, not for any personal matters, as our relationship will only be strictly landlord and tenant, that is it. My wife is frantically trying to call G and apologized, but he isn't on during her calls. She knows her part-time job paycheck might not be enough, and I told her we will need to downsize. She is not happy. I'm not happy with my wife at all, and she's calling me an asshole because I'm mad at her. $1,000 doesn't sound like a lot for some, but for me it is a lot of money. My wife's paycheck would not have been touched for rent or anything, but now it has to, as I told her she will cover the $1,000 if she want to stay in this house, as I refuses to take up longer hours or more shifts. She is devastated because her part-time job salary might not be enough, and she will have to go back to full-time work. Sorry if my post is all over the place. I'm tired and my emotions aren't at the right place currently, as I'm stressing about things that hasn't even crossed my mind before and things I haven't had to stress over. The situations sound rough, I know, but like I said above, I am up for a promotion at work for my manager's job when he retires in 14 months. I am assured the job and have it in writing. The increase is enough for my wife to only to part-time work, but that will only be in 14 months, and she has to cover the missing $1,000 for the rent, as I'm refusing. I don't want to move, but if she doesn't cover the missing $1,000, or can't, we will have to. Edit 1. I have asked my wife IG has done something or said something to her that caused a reaction to him, wanting to give as a gift, and she in tears told me no, but can't or won't give me a reason. To me, in my mind, I took what she said at face value, and I believe that she thinks G was looking down on us, as she said when he made the offer. That $500 would have helped monumentally, and my wife know that. She also knows getting a house like we currently have and as good as we have it in the house is not a guarantee, because we have read numerous stories on Reddit about other landlords, and she herself has always expected how lucky we have been. Edit 2. Our lease is up for renewal, but our lease will basically be canceled and not renewed. We will basically have to reapply for the lease, and the new amount will be market rate. He said for the fact that we have been good tenants so far, he will give us first option to the house. Edit 3. I know this sounds shitty of me, but I am more sure that G hasn't slept with my wife than I am my wife has never cheated on me. Myself including, I have never met a man more set on morals and principles. He still wears his wedding ring, even though his wife has been dead for more than 10 years. When I asked him about a woman or girlfriend in his life, he said no. His wife is waiting for him, and he will not disappoint her.